I love it. It's a really cool film. And coming from a small fishing village on the East Coast, and having been very involved in hockey when I was younger, hockey I loved hockey. It was my life when I was younger, and so I could relate to a great deal of it. What can I tell you about PEI? It is a very community oriented place. I find uh, people are they live pretty hard scrabble lives in many ways, like farming and fishing, but the generosity of spirit here, I've never seen it surpassed anywhere else that I've traveled in the world. I think that's a big reason that islanders have such a generosity of spirit, is that most island communities have seen really hard times and know that they're going to get through it if they pull together. Growing up in a fishing community that was big into hockey, it's interesting, I think, when you think about the fact that, you know, fishing can be it's a hard way to make a living, and it can be dangerous. As you well know, and actually, in my own personal family experience, on the day my mom was born, her mother, my grandmother, lost her brother to a storm on the sea. And those kind of things come home pretty strongly. In the last couple of years, we've lost a number of fishermen here on PEI, and it's something that's always there, but people don't talk about it that much. It's just that it's always beneath the surface, and maybe that's why we love hockey so much, because it has that rough and tumble way about it, and that way to burn off tension and energy and maybe there's some kind of connection there, and I like to see that in Susan's film as well. We shot that video. We had to shoot it that day. It was so windy. It was unbelievably windy and cold, bitterly cold. And yeah, it was quite a bit of a trial to get it all down. But everybody was great, and we wanted to get it right. So we just stuck to it. Dang the goal. I think it was all right. And I was just thinking, about the push me, pull me kind of attraction, kind of not that's not the word, kind of love that most people have for PEI when they have to go away to work or they have to go somewhere else, and then yet they want to come back. There's such uh, uh, a strong sense of rootedness here that affects so many people who grew up here on PEI. And I love it. I love it when someone has a story, and you don't need to find the story. You just need to find a way to mold that story into three verses and a chorus kind of thing. And it's to me, it's kind of a gift to be able to take a story and write a song around it if it's a good story. I don't know. Songs are funny things. Some songs you'll struggle with them for weeks and or maybe months even, to try to get it to the core of them. In this case, it wasn't so much pressure because it was such an interesting story, and I was very familiar with the landscape and the characters. The situation of being in a relationship where you're trying to break free, but you can't break free. There's such a strong pull into the relationship, the same as a strong pull to small community, that you grew up in, and all of the things that that are so endearing in that place, and yet that you're some part of you is trying to escape from, and a part of you can't, it wants to always be a part of. But I can't say enough about everybody that played on the song, and Daniel Ledwell, Prince Edward Islander as well, was the producer. Uh, and again, like I said, like having Rose singing on it was the icing on the cake. I'd just like to say that I'm really glad that Susan thought that I would be a good person to write the theme song. There's a lot of wonderful music in this film. I'm glad that Susan asked me to write the song for it. But when I watched the film, I was like, wow, there's a lot of very cool songs by other artists happening here. So I think people are going to be blown away not just by the film, but by all the accompanying music as well. What is this thing that pulls me like I'm on a turning tide? I drift so far away, then I'm drawn back to your side.